Welcome to Impact Farming, where we introduce you to the people and ideas that will have a massive impact on your farming operation. Brought to you by Farm Marketer. Sit down, start the engine, and let's roll with today's show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Impact Farming Show. Today, I have Nick Oakley joining me from Farm Management Canada. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Tracy. Thanks so much for having me.
I am so excited to have you here. We've been working together for years already with the Farm Management Canada partnership. I help you guys promote the event to the individuals in our audience, and I attend, sponsor, all that good stuff. So I am excited, and I'm sure you're even more excited because the 2025 event is coming up. Actually, we're less than a month as we record. Crazy.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit scary too, but also very, very exciting.
So I'm even more excited for this year's event, Nick, because this year it's in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So I'm going to be attending in person, probably doing some recording, helping you guys promote. So I'm really excited to dive in today to share information about this year's event and then see everybody, whoever's going to attend live in person this year. So, Nick, why don't we dive in? Can you tell our audience who you are, your role, and then we'll get into Farm Management Canada and the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. So you already mentioned my name is Nick Oakley. I'm the Business Development Manager at Farm Management Canada, and it's a role that I really, really enjoy. I love to connect with other industry groups, farm groups, farmers, and build partnerships and build relationships with these groups to help promote Farm Management Canada's mission of helping farmers adopt business management practices, treating their farms like the business that it is.
Excellent. So this year's event, like I said, can you share some of the details? I already gave the spoiler alert. It's in Winnipeg. Do you want to share a little bit more about the event theme, dates, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So you nailed it. It is in Winnipeg, Manitoba. November 17th to the 20th is kind of the extended AgEx edition with a few things happening on the 17th for young farmers. And then all the way down to the 20th, where we're going to have a workshop day with some of our industry partners. But happening in Winnipeg, Manitoba, at the Radisson downtown in Winnipeg. And this year's theme for AgEx is gaining ground, which is, it's always a tricky thing for us to choose a theme. It's something that maybe not every session ties into, but you want kind of an overarching idea. What are we leaning into? What are we hoping to take away from? And gaining ground to us felt like a great representation of acknowledging the success, the journey that people have been on, the progress that has been made, but while also acknowledging that there's still a ways to go, that we still have progress to make, that we still need to work together to get towards a common goal. So kind of acknowledging success while also recognizing the need for continued progress. And we're really excited with the partners that we have joining us, with the amount of young farmers, which isn't that kind of a cool thing, a new thing for us this year. But AgEx is, as you said, coming up really quickly and something we're really, really excited about. So I would be remiss for sure to not to mention our partnership, obviously, with the government of Canada and through the SCAP program. There are delivery partners, our partners in a lot of things and all the things we do, as well as our kind of boots on the ground, our provincial partner in the Keystone Ag Producers. I cannot say enough wonderful things about Colin and his team over there at CAP. They have joined alongside with us, have been true collaborators with us. We always like to find either like a focus group or a group in the host province that we choose to ensure that our agenda, our content, our sessions are aligned with what farmers in that region, in that province are going through. I would hate to deliver or plan an agenda for an event sitting here in Ottawa thinking that it's relevant for farmers in Manitoba or last year farmers all the way out in BC. We want to make sure that when we go somewhere that it's relevant first to the host province, the host region, and the farmers in that area. And last year we worked with the BC Ag Council, and they were tremendous in ensuring we were delivering the right content for last year's event. And this year, the same thing with CAP. They are fantastic, ensuring that these are the right topics, these are the right people. We're also featuring some of their board of directors on our agenda too. So it's really, really great. So the partnership from the government, the partnership with the Keystone Ag producers, as well as the government of Manitoba and the Ministry of Agriculture there, we are really excited for that. And we'll also have Manitoba's Minister of Agriculture joining us for some opening remarks on one of the days too. So there's a lot of excitement going around, a lot of people who are joined together to put this on. It's definitely not just our event, but we're so super excited to have everybody on board.
Awesome. And you know, the one thing, you guys are obviously always farm management geared, farm business, which is fantastic. I love that. That just goes so closely with the mission and theme of our show. But the other thing I love is how it always draws so many young farmers. That is what I love, because we look at it, there's like three demographics in agriculture. We have the farm founders, I call it, that are the ones maybe holding the reins, retiring. Then we have that mid-age group that are operating ownership. And then we have the young farmers that are coming up. And I remember being in Ag Diploma and learning all that stuff. And then there's farm shows out there, but having a conference that really speaks to and invites that younger demographic to teach them and get them excited about the future. That's what I really like about the event, because they are the future of agriculture, right?
It's what's been said always about young farmers, and I apologize to him. I cannot remember the name. I believe his name was David. He's a farmer, a young farmer in the Maritimes, and he said, "I want the industry to know that young farmers are the future, but we're also the now. We're also the present." And I really, really like that. And I think that's
Nice.
how we kind of embodied it with AgEx, really inviting specific speakers, specific sessions for young farmers so that they will attend. And this year we're promising to have a really large contingent, just like we had last year. And also to acknowledge the FCC Young Farmer Summit that's happening on November 18th.
Okay.
They're hosting their Manitoba Young Farmer Summit in conjunction with AgEx, and we're so appreciative of their partnership there. So we know there'll be a lot of students from the University of Manitoba. There'll be a lot of young farmers from Manitoba, all joining forces, all coming in to AgEx on the Tuesday to do the FCC Young Farmer Summit. And we hope and we know that there's a good large contingent coming from across the country as well. Truly coast to coast, we have young farmers joining us, and we know they'll be sticking around for the rest of AgEx too. So absolutely, young farmers are the future, they're the present, and we are so excited to have them joining us at AgEx.
Nice. Okay, well, then that rolls right into the next question I want to ask you. You have some great partnerships and some events going alongside of your portion of the conference. So why don't we strategically go to, I think it's Monday and Tuesday, you have other events, and then Wednesday, Thursday is the AgEx. So do you want to share and kind of outline it for individuals in the audience, what's going on each of those days?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a new format we're taking on this year, and maybe next year is going to look like something different, but it's something for sure worth a try, especially bringing in partners and our title sponsor FCC bringing in their Young Farmer Summit and then partnering with us and delivering a session on the 19th is exciting as well. So on Monday, November 17th, we are really excited to be hosting a National Young Farmer reception at the Gateway to the Arctic exhibit at Assiniboine Park Zoo. So it's a offsite, a unique facility to host us. It's actually the polar bear exhibit at the zoo. So we're going to be having a reception meeting and greeting people while they're actually feeding polar bears over top of us in this tunnel. So we're going to be able to see the polar bears, see them eating, swimming over top of the group while we get a chance to connect. So it's just a really unique, I think a unique to Winnipeg, a unique to Manitoba environment. So it's really, really exciting time there. So we're inviting all young farmers from across the country to join us. If you're coming for the FCC Young Farmer Summit on the Tuesday or AgEx or both, join us on Monday night at the Assiniboine Park Zoo for a wonderful social time with other young farmers. As I mentioned before, the FCC Young Farmer Summit's taking place then on Tuesday, November 18th, and we're so excited to have an incredible lineup of speakers joining us for that and for FCC and their partnership, bringing all their expertise in event planning and agenda organizing. A really great day, and topics and themes that link so nicely into business management and so nicely into the rest of AgEx. So it really will be a great start or a great introduction, the first day of AgEx for the young farmers. But if you may not be young or maybe more on the experience side, we have an incredible farm tour around Winnipeg planned with the help of the Keystone Ag producers. So there's something for everybody. So, and if you're young at heart or neither, then there's still something for you for sure. As well, that evening we're going to be having we call it a mix and mingle banquet. It's a reception, a banquet. It's a good time for everybody to get together. So after the farm tour, after the FCC Young Farmer Summit, everybody can come together. We're going to be presenting our Wilson Lurie Award, which is an award that we hand out to somebody who's deserving of recognition for their contributions to agriculture in business management, as well as a good time to connect with other attendees. And I believe we're going to be having an AgEx marketplace type thing that we started last year, where we invited some local vendors to come in and showcase some of their goods. And it was definitely some that were very close to agriculture, some farms and some kind of farm products that were featured as well. So just a cool chance to see what is local in the area and meet other people and connect just before AgEx starts. Okay. Then we have Wednesday, November 19th, and it's a day jam-packed full of really great sessions, incredible speakers, and hopefully a lot of fun. I think the way that we try to put on AgEx or any of our workshops that we do is not just a day where experts are speaking at the audience. I think it's a missed opportunity not to capture the ideas or the expertise, the lived experiences of the audience and of the attendees. So throughout the day, whether it's through the Slido app where we get instant feedback on and polling on questions, or actual time to have roundtable discussions, to collaborate with the people at your table, there's going to be sessions and opportunities throughout the day to do all of that. So that's the format in that day, is something that I'm really excited about. Not to just have a speaker on stage chatting at the audience, but have the audience actually contributing to discussion and moving along the conversation as well. So if you're coming to AgEx, which we do hope you do, be prepared not to just sit back and observe. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. We're encouraging you to come in and participate and share ideas and brainstorm and collaborate with others. Right off the hop in the morning, we're going to have some opening remarks. Definitely excited for the Minister of Agriculture in Manitoba to be joining us and sharing. I know agriculture is ingrained in him, and we're excited to have him join us for sure. And then kicking off the day for us is Jason Fisk, who is a new board member of ours and also the manager of knowledge products at FCC. He's going to be sharing on the Farm CEO Checklist, which is a new knowledge idea, a new knowledge, just paper and I guess promotional kind of campaign that they're going to be sharing about the top things that a true farm CEO needs to be considering or needs to be doing or needs to have kind of in their back pocket. So a great checklist of best practices and ideas from the industry that farm CEOs or farm managers really need to be considering. So Jason was really ingrained in developing that, and so he's going to kind of share the backstory, the ideas, the research behind, as well as why each point was kind of included in the farm CEO checklist. I know a good portion of that too was taken from some of our research. We're really proud of that, and I always like to put whether it's our staff or our board members up on stage to kind of brag a little bit about the cool people that are involved in our organization. So we're really excited to have Jason join us, followed up by Heather Watson and Matthew Lepari, who are colleagues of mine. Yeah, anytime I can get Heather on stage and Matt on stage as well is a good time for sure. Both of them are incredibly smart in risk management and business management in general. And I love having two people on stage especially when it's those two people working together to facilitate a session. And that's the session I'm speaking of when I'm saying there's going to be a chance to collaborate and really engage. So they are going to be facilitating a really cool almost working session where you'll be working with the people around you, collaborating and sharing ideas to the greater group. All about proactive farm risk management. So looking at risk management outside of just BRM stuff and going to kind of a holistic, a whole farm risk management strategy and being proactive in that as well. So that's promising to be a really, really great time to talk to the cool people around you, to gain ideas, and then have an avenue to share those with the rest of the group. We're really, really excited for the two of them to be up there. Definitely won't be the last time that both of them are facilitating sessions at AgEx, but we're definitely excited for them to kind of kick off the morning with us as well. So it'll be a really busy first couple sessions for sure at AgEx. One of the other, I think, unique probably to AgEx things that we do is the National Resource Showcase, which is, for lack of a better term, it's kind of like a speed dating, which is a funny thing to be participating in. So you're going to go from collaborating with people around you then to a bit of a speed dating where really cool partners, sponsors, and kind of sister organizations to ours who have farmer education at heart are going to be placed around the room at different tables, and you'll have 2 or 3 rotations to go around and visit. Hey, what does CARC have to offer? What kind of programs or resources do you have? How about the Canadian Ag Safety Association? What are you guys up to? As well as FCC and MNP and the like. So I think it's a really cool chance to not only meet cool people and interesting people that are in the room, but learn more about the programs and resources and products that they have to offer. So you get a bit of a snippet, and we like to place it earlier in the day so you can have that instant connection. Hey, I learned 10 minutes about what Farm Management Canada has to offer. I'm going to really try and connect with them throughout the rest of the conference to hear more and to learn more. So a really great opportunity to meet some more people and to learn about who's in the room. Followed up by our concurrent sessions. We have 4 incredible concurrent sessions at AgEx. The first one I'll just share quickly about is delivered by Leadership by Kelly Dobson. His session is called Grow Through It, Confront, Reflect, and Adapt. Anytime Kelly is involved in AgEx, which is often, we are really, really excited. I especially love when we do have him in concurrent sessions instead of being on the stage. I mean, he is a wonderful keynote speaker, but when you can be in a concurrent session, you kind of have that closed door, that kind of confidentiality, and you can really dive into some leadership components, some leadership aspects and things. And we deliver the National Farm Leadership Program with Kelly and Leadership too. So anytime we can feature Kelly and his leadership development stuff at AgEx, it's a wonderful time. A new partner, a new sponsor we have at AgEx this year as well is Fertilizer Canada. We are really grateful to have them join us. And they have the Fertilizer Safe session that they're going to be delivering as a concurrent session done by Catherine Kennedy of Fertilizer Canada, and sharing about the Fertilizer Safe program and the programs that are involved in Fertilizer Safe, as well as looking at something like fertilizer storage and fertilizer in general through the lens of business management. So what does something like a fertilizer spill, how does that impact your business? And following specific programs like Fertilizer Safe, how would that have a positive impact on your business? So really looking at all aspects of managing a farm through the lens of farm business management. I'm really excited for Fertilizer Canada, and definitely will be checking out that concurrent session. As well, back swath management right there in Manitoba. So some homegrown talent for sure. I'm sure you're familiar with Terry and Gavin and the crew over there. They're going to be delivering an emerging farm managers session, which has to do definitely with peer groups. We know kind of some of the leaders in peer groups in agriculture in Canada for sure are back swath management. I have been so impressed learning about their emerging farm leaders, peer groups, and all the things they're doing for that kind of young farmer, that demographic that we spoke about. And it's really a great extension, a way to dive deeper into all the things that we're going to be practicing and preaching at AgEx for sure. really excited to have Sarah and Gavin from Backswath joining us.
Right.
I think the last session we have as a concurrent, and we were just kind of finalized it last week, is with Brianna Hagan, the CEO of the Canadian Centre for Agricultural Wellbeing. We know that at Farm Management Canada, we're not mental health experts in any capacity. We did a study recently on the impacts of mental health on farms, and it's something we always try and remind people to consider their mental health. But I think it's really important if we're going to have a session on that, and we know it's an important topic. We all have heard stories, we all personally gone through things like that, to start considering or to continue considering mental health. It's really important to bring in an expert, and we know that Brianna Hagan is definitely one of the experts in this space. So her session is titled Sowing Seeds of Strength in Farm Mental Wellness, and it's one for sure, especially in a closed door scenario too, where you can kind of really connect with, instead of being in a big giant ballroom and with a bunch of people around you go into the concurrent room, and it's again a kind of a closed door session where you can have a bit more of an intimate time and really connect with what she has to say. So we're really grateful to have Brianna joining us. Diving into the afternoon, so that's the morning. That's just what we have going on in the morning. Wow. It's a busy day. So Tracy, buckle up. It is going to be quite the time for sure. Following after a wonderful lunch, I know there's pierogies on the menu across the time. So if anyone's a fan of pierogies, there will be lots of opportunities for those. I can't promise if it's that lunch, but for sure multiple meals, I believe, involve pierogies. One session that I'm really passionate about for sure is our sessions on farm transition. And so we have our Bridging the Gap farm transition workshops actually running in a couple of weeks. We start one out in Red Deer, and they go throughout kind of the winter months. And we have the national leader on Transition Smart for MMP, Trevor McLean. He's a friend of mine for sure. Definitely one of Canada's experts on farm transition. Just an incredible speaker, an incredibly knowledgeable guy in terms of farm transition. Somebody who understands not only the business side, but the emotional side and all the different components that go into that. So Trevor's one of the facilitators for our Bridging the Gap sessions. And I really wanted to feature and highlight the stuff that he does at Bridging the Gap, bring that to AgEx, bring that to the bigger audience at AgEx. So he is going to be facilitating a session with two incredible farmers from across the country. Jennifer Work from Running with Eggs and Farmer Ben Eggs in BC. So they have a wonderful egg farm on the island in BC. And we have Jake Eyre, who's the VP actually at the Keystone Ag Producers, a young farmer too. Both of them are going to be up there sharing with Trevor their story of their farm transitions for sure, where things might have been a little dicey, how they've overcome that, where they are in their situation, lessons learned from that. And we just know farm transition is something that impacts the entire farming operation. And so to have these two brave souls up there opening up their heart, opening up their story, and really being vulnerable to sharing their personal lives. When we start talking about farm family transition, that's some intimate personal things, right? Family dynamics, how family and business interact, it gets really tricky. So to have them both agree and volunteer and be excited to share, this is our farm transition story. This is what we did well. This is the mistakes we made. This is where we're at, and this is where we hope to go. Both of them have some incredible stories, a lot of lessons to be learned. So that is, I think they're all can't miss sessions, but this one personally, in the work that I've done in farm transition and our other workshops, I am exceptionally excited for what that's going to be. So Trevor has an incredible way to pull out real nuggets from conversation. So it's not just a fireside chat where you're hearing people talk. He's really good at kind of pausing that conversation, then turning to the audience and, hey, did you hear that? Let me say that again. Let's say that again. So you can really, if you're going to write anything down, write this down, because that was a wonderful kind of nugget from that conversation.
I was sorry if you've seen me waving.
Yeah,
like a kid in school here. Nick, can I speak? Hey, I wanted to jump in really quick because you're super excited. I'm excited about all of those. And you are talking about Trevor. As an FYI to you guys in the audience while we're talking about him, if all goes well, I'm recording with Trevor next week, and then we'll be doing a segment with Trevor talking about the segment he's going to be doing at the conference there. So if you're interested, if you're thinking of going and you want to pregame and watch some episodes, we'll have one with Trevor if everything goes well. We're working on the nitty-gritty details here. So
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to hear that too. When I heard that you were going to be chatting with him, it's a can't miss for sure. Trevor is he's a presence on stage too, and he gets on you turn and you listen, but not just because he's a fun guy and he's a big personality on stage. It is just he has really solid, incredible advice. I've seen firsthand, even just at our 1 day Bridging the Gap workshops, how he has helped farmers with the stuff he said on stage, with going and sitting down at their table and working through stuff with them. It's not easy. Farm transitions are not easy. We can that's kind of number one-on-one in farm transitions. This is not easy. And to have somebody like that to guide conversations and to help out, it's going to be a wonderful podcast, I assure you. And for sure at the session at AgEx, we are really, really excited to have him.
right on.
After Trevor and Jen and Jake share there, we have a second shot at those concurrent sessions. So I know there's 4 of them. We do at least give people opportunity to go and visit 2 of them. So they can do one in the morning, they can do one in the afternoon. The same 4 are running in the morning and the afternoon. So while you don't get to see all 4, you'll at least get to see 2 of them. So you can kind of pick which 2 you'd like to go to. We have those same 4 running again. And then, so we have the last 2 learning sessions of the day. And the first one sponsored by RBC, Financial Foundations for Resilient Farm Families, which a resilient farm family is something I know that everybody in that room will be striving for sure. We have Lorna McKercher, the National Director of Agriculture for RBC, a wonderful person, a good friend of mine, and just one of those speakers where you get to talking to somebody and you just think, man, you are so smart. You are incredibly smart. It's so great to be able to feature those people on stage. She speaks really well. She's super knowledgeable, a farmer herself. So really excited to have Lorna joining us on stage at AgEx there. And then the last session of the day is our only official panel. It's called Elevating Farm Business Management in Canada. Obviously, Farm Business Management Canada, that's where we thrive. We have Heather Watson, our executive director, moderating a panel with 3 diverse farming experts joining us. So we have Ove Carlson, who's joining us all the way from Sweden. He's involved in the International Farm Management Association, as are we. He's joining us from Sweden to kind of bring that international flair, that international idea, how things are done in Sweden, maybe perceptions on Canada and Canadian agriculture. We have Terry Betker, of course, the founder and CEO of Baxswath Management from right there in Manitoba. And then another Manitoba panelist, we have Jill Verway, who, of course, is the president of the Keystone Ag Producers and the vice president of the Canadian Federation of Agriculture, who has, I believe, had 2 international trips, even just in the last few weeks, one to Italy and one to Mexico, to talk about not only farming in Canada, but again, kind of where do we stack up in the rest of the world? What's the kind of the perception of Canadian agriculture? And in terms of specifically in farm business management, where do we stand? Where are we in the rest of the world? So a wonderful discussion. And Heather, obviously, I place her on stage whenever I can, moderating that discussion and steering it. I think we have 3 diverse panelists, and a lot of different opinions and ideas are going to be shared then. So a wonderful, wonderful session there. But the fun does not end when Heather gets off the stage. We have some closing remarks for sure, but a brand new, I'm a little bit nervous but a brand new session, a brand new idea and event that we're having at AgEx is called the Farm Risk Challenge.
Ooh.
So it's kind of a gamified, we definitely advertise the gameplay and the game version. It's kind of a gamified way to live out some of the ideas and things that we talk about throughout the day. So kind of simply, you're going to join us for the Farm Risk Challenge, sit down at a table with 2 or 3 or 4 other people, and then you guys are going to become a farm managing team. So you're going to create your farm, you're going to come up with a fun farm name, and then we are going to present you with a scenario, and you're going to have to use your farm resources to try and navigate the risky business that farming is. So maybe you're going to need to develop a farm transition plan or a farm safety plan and kind of hedge your bets and figure out where do we allocate our resources in year one. And then at the end of that year, everybody will learn what events has happened in that farming year. So you're kind of taking a turn, let's say Jan 1, to plan out, this is our farming year. We're going to allocate resources to these few things. And then we're going to come back at the end of that turn and say, this is what happened in the farming year. Maybe you had this risk that you didn't consider, or maybe you had this risk and you did consider, and you're going to be covered. So it's kind of a way to live out farming just in a safe, no consequence way, and very much gamified. There'll be food and drink served for sure. So a really fun time to just try something new, to try a gamified way at running a farm. And we have Heather Watson again and Matthew Lepari are kind of spearheading that initiative. Matt has been doing a ton of work and envisioning and ensuring that it's realistic too as to what's going on there. We're so excited too to have ACC, the Agricultural Credit Corporation, sponsoring that session. So definitely as administrators of the APP program, you will be interacting with ACC for sure throughout the game too. So kind of, I don't know, it's like a farm simulator. It's a little bit of like that, but definitely a game. I will stress it's for sure a game. There'll be prizes, definitely prizes as well. And just a cool chance to socialize, to meet new people, to make farming decisions, to roll the dice and see what happens in this creative imaginary farm that you're going to make up. So a new thing for sure that we're trying, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, regardless of how your farm does.
Nice. That sounds exciting.
If anything else, it's definitely going to be exciting. If nothing else, it'll be an exciting chance to play a bit of a game and have some fun with the people around you. And then that brings us to Thursday, November 20th, the final day of AgEx, this is definitely a new thing that we've taken on as well. We wanted to really dive into some important business management and some important farm topics, more so than maybe a half-hour, 45-minute plenary session or keynote session would do, even more so than maybe an hour concurrent session you could dive in at AgEx. I think there's a lot of thought leadership and a lot of big ideas that are going to be shared. But let's also look at some of these really important topics and dive in for a longer period with content experts to guide you through that. So we have a workshop day on November 20th. It's going to be taking place, I think it's 2 or 3 blocks away from the Radisson at the Delta, downtown Winnipeg. Thanks to our friends at the Keystone Ag Producers. We're really excited, to be partnering with them and for them to be helping deliver that day with us. And so we have 4 workshops where you can dive into either it's a farm business management in the hackathon that we're going to have run by Matthew Lepari again of Farm Management Canada. We have a workshop on digitalization and farm data done by Emily and CAPI, the Canadian Agri-Food Policy Institute. We have a workshop called Workforce Wins, delivered by our friends at CARC. And that's definitely an HR-heavy workshop, but really practical. Let's help you run your farm tomorrow. Let's help you next week with something that you're going through. So not just thought leadership, but here's some takeaways that you can start implementing as soon as you step foot back on the farm. We have a farm safety workshop with some farm safety activities and games done by the Canadian Ag Safety Association. So all 4 of those workshops are going to be taking place. They're about an hour and a half to 2 hours each in the morning of the November 20th. So at 10 a.m., you can pick one of those 4 workshops to go to. And then again, because I think all 4 are going to be wonderful, you'll have a lunch, and then in the afternoon, you'll get to pick a second one to go to. So again, you don't get to go to all 4, but you will at least get to take in 2 of those 4 wonderful workshops. So it starts at 10. The first one will start at 10 and end at 12. We'll have lunch till 1 o'clock. And then from 1 o'clock to 3 p.m., we have the second round of workshops. And it's diving into these topics, whether it's farm business management and developing solutions for some of the problems we're facing today and tomorrow, digitalization of farm data, to me feels like such a question mark. There's so much data we know that are on farms, but are we actually utilizing it in the right way? Are we digitalizing the way that we need to be, or to keep up with, whether it's our neighbors, whether it's the rest of the country or the rest of the world? HR stuff, we know that employees and HR is vitally important on farms. And then farm safety, that's almost like the given of all givens, that farm safety is clearly really important. So 4 topics that you can really spend some time with and really gain tangible things or ideas, or be aware of resources or programs that you can start doing tomorrow on your farm whenever you get back. So a workshop day is something new at AgEx. We're excited. We're thankful for the partners that we have delivering the workshops. We're thankful for the Keystone Ag producers for helping us host that day. And that'll really end AgEx, taking it from keynote presentations on stage, some thought leadership, some big ideas, all the way down to start implementing this stuff tomorrow. Start implementing this as soon as you get back to the farm.
Nice. I like it. That's going to be so much fun. 3 quick things I have to say. I want to clarify.
Yeah.
We focused a lot on young farmers, and I want to clarify and ask you to clarify. It's not only young farmers. There's farmers of all ages there. We just said young farmers. I focused on that, but I want to make sure while I'm thinking of it, I bring up that it's not just young farmers. And also, they say young farmers is 40 and under. So, I mean, all ages are at that conference, right?
Absolutely. Young farmers, we said young at heart farmers, or anything past or in between those categories. For sure. I think there's value when we're talking young farmers in hosting workshops, hosting learning events or conferences that are specific to them, that have been designed and focused specifically on things that they're going through. But also, there is a ton of value in growing into a bigger conversation with farmers of all ages, from industry across the board, where it's not just a young farmer perspective that's being shared, that we're also hearing from people who have experience doing these things. So I think absolutely anybody of all ages are going to be there. Young farmers have their own day, but including them in the rest of the conversation, we would be missing out on a big opportunity if we didn't. So absolutely, no matter your age, we've had babies even join us, accompanying their parents, who decided it was an event that they couldn't miss. So truly of all ages, I think AgEx could be for anybody.
Okay, good. I wanted to specifically clarify, because sometimes I find as a podcast host, one of the hard things is I'll say a comment because I'm focused on or I'm excited about, and then it puts a focus in my mind and the content that I share on a certain demographic. And I'm like, well, it's not just that. I better bring that up because, of course, farmers of all ages are welcome. So if you're like, of course, Tracy, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because sometimes if I don't do that or think about it after, I'm like, oh no. So I just wanted to make that little disclaimer.
Absolutely.
Okay. 2 other quick things, and I'm going to ask you 2 parting thoughts, questions as we wrap up. 1, if you guys are interested in a lot of those guests that are mentioned and you want to pregame in between now and then, get registered and then pregame, go to YouTube, because a lot of those individuals, they're thought leaders in farm business management. A lot of your team at Farm Management Canada, a lot of those speakers I've brought onto the show. So you guys can pregame on Farm Marketer, the Impact Farming YouTube. Shameless plug here. That's the great part. You know, Farm Management Canada, FCC, Myers Norris Penny, we're all like the same bucket of content and really trying to promote the same thing. So anybody that's interested in the event will like our YouTube channel too. But the other thing, I'm excited to work out the details with you guys of whether I'm going to be recording live on location or whether I connect with these guests, the rest of them, and do episodes after. So if you attend, make sure to register. And then, of course, I hope to see all of you guys there. So those were the couple things that I wanted to throw into, because we do a lot of work with you guys to promote your past events, current events, and hopefully future as well. So if there's a farmer in the audience, they're loving it, aside from getting registered, what are some final words that you would share with them? What do you hope that an attendee takes away? Like thoughts, feelings, knowledge?
That's a really great question. And I think when we're developing the agenda, we always like to have that final takeaway. When we've said the closing remarks, when we've wrapped up, when things are being torn down, what is an attendee left thinking? What is an attendee taking away from the event? How may they change the way they view farm business management or their farm in general? So it's something we always like to think about as we're starting the construction of our agenda. So for AgEx, for sure this year, I think young farmers are going to be taking away that not only does Farm Management Canada, but I think the industry has a lot of resources and programs and products available specifically for them, and that there are incredible learning opportunities as well. There is a giant network of young farmers across the country. I've talked and spoken with a lot of the groups that they're a part of and young farmers in general. It is such an uplifting and exciting bunch of people to be around. So knowing that a large contingent are coming to AgEx, I'm really excited, but I think it's going to be a contagious feeling of excitement around agriculture and the future of what's going on. So for a young farmer to know that there's a lot of the people like them that they can connect to and share with ideas. And I hope they leave AgEx thinking, wow, there is more to be done for sure in my farm business management journey, but also there is a great network of people that I can lean on, that I can connect with and share and grow with. And then for any attendee, I think young, again, I don't like to say old, but maybe more experienced, I think they would walk away from AgEx looking at their farm, looking at their operations or farm business management in general in a bit of a new light. I think we have some speakers and some sessions that might challenge some thinking, might challenge you to grow in your viewpoint on some things or your knowledge and with a knowledge transfer and sharing information, kind of growing your knowledge and understanding of farm business management, but then also being aware of the incredible service providers, the incredible learning opportunities and resources that are available to you. I don't think coming to AgEx, you're going to walk away necessarily with a complete business plan, or you're not going to have a transition plan all in place. It's not, check, I went to AgEx and my farm business is managed and done, but that there are a lot of people with a lot of tools and expertise that can continue to help you in whatever journey you're going to be on in your farm business. So there's a lot to learn, and I think attendees will walk away with some specifics from each session for sure, but just that they have a greater understanding of all the different components involved in managing a farm and where to turn to for more knowledge, to some more information or more support in that capacity.
So important. And I think every one of those subjects are timeless. Whatever your age is, you'll take something different out of it, right? Based on your experience. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I love them all. This is stuff we talk about on the show, as I mentioned. Okay, Nick, this has been lovely. The most important question as we wrap it up, how can people learn more and register for the event?
That is truly the $1,000,000 question, right? So as always, people can find our stuff at our website, fmc-gac.com. But if you just want to find stuff about AgEx and register for AgEx, you can go to agexconference.com, and that'll take you right to our page. A white and red register now button is in the corner, and it's a pretty simple process to get signed up and to sign up. So we would love to see everybody out, as many people as possible for sure, but agexconference.com is where to go.
Nick, that's excellent. Thank you so much for spending time sharing about the event. I love the work you guys do. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing on the event. Thank you to Farm Management Canada, because this stuff here is creating strong leaders for now and for the future of the Canadian farming industry. So thank you, Nick. I appreciate you spending time with us.
Thanks, Tracy.
You guys in the audience, if you are as excited as I am, head over to their website, find out how to register, and I hope to see you there. Bye, guys.
You've been listening to Impact Farming. For more great episodes and articles designed to help you manage and grow your farming operation, head on over to farmmarketer.com. Don't forget to sign up while you're there. We will see you on the next episode.